So completing the square, you want to make sure that the coefficient of a is 1. If it's not, then you have to divide out that coefficient on the a term. Move the x terms and the c terms to, or the c term to the opposite side of the equations. Once you do that, you want to write the parentheses and fill in the half of b squared, and then on the other side you're going to add b squared to both sides. Simplify both sides of the equation, and then square root both sides of the equation to cancel the square. Whenever you square root something, you have to add the plus and the minus, and then you want to solve for x. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of the 3 in front of the x squared, so divide out 3, so I get x squared minus 4x plus 14 over 3 doesn't reduce, so it has to be a fraction, equals 0. Then I want to move the c term to the other side, so that's the second step. So I'd have x squared minus 4x plus something, that's that part that I need to add to both sides, equals negative 14 over 3 plus something, so I have to figure out what that something is. So I want to write my parentheses, so that's my third step. The sign's always going to be the same as your b term, so negative half of b is what I'm putting inside the parentheses right here. So half of 4 would be 2. And then I want to square half of b. So 2 squared would be 4 is what I'm going to fill in the spot on both sides of the equation. And then I'm going to simplify this side of the equation. So negative 14 thirds plus plus 4 would be negative 2 thirds. So I have negative 2 thirds. And that should be squared. So x minus 2 squared equals negative 2 thirds. So I want to get rid of the squared. So in order to get rid of the square, opposite function would be square rooting it, and whenever you square root, you need a plus or minus in front. So square root of a squared term would leave me with what's underneath, so x minus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of negative 2 thirds. I want to get rid of that negative underneath the square root. So a negative underneath the square root means it's an imaginary number. I'm going to split up the square root so I can simplify it more easily. Can't have a radical in the denominator. That radical 3 has to go away. So in order to do that, you have to rationalize the denominator by multiplying by radical 3 over radical 3. So I'd get x minus 2 equals plus or minus I square root. Square root of 2 times the square root of 3 would be square root of 6. Divided by square root of 3 times square root of 3 would be square root of 9, which simplifies to 3. And then I want to get rid of this 2 finally. So I'd add 2 to both sides. This 2 doesn't add to the plus or minus I squared of 6 divided by 3. It just goes out in front of it because this is a whole number and a imaginary number, so you can't combine them. You just want to write it separately. So it'd be 2 plus or minus I squared of 6 divided by 3 as your answer.